I never really bought into stories about cursed objects or haunted places. To me, they were just campfire tales, things to spook kids. But that all changed after my stay at the old Redwood Motel on the edge of the Nevada desert. It was supposed to be a simple overnight stop on a long drive home. A bed, a shower, and back on the road. Simple. But looking back, the first red flag was the clerk. He had this uneasy smile as he handed me the key to room 19. It was a look that said more than words ever could. The room itself was nothing special, faded floral wallpaper, a fluorescent light that buzzed like a trapped insect, and that distinct smell of old wood and stale air. But then my eyes landed on it, a tall antique mirror leaning against the wall by the bed. The wooden frame was cracked and dark, covered in strange symbols that looked like they'd been burned right into the grain. I was tired from the drive, so I didn't think much of it. Not at first. It wasn't until I glanced at it a bit later that I noticed something. Off. My reflection blinked, but it was just a split second behind me. I chuckled, told myself my eyes were playing tricks on me, that I was just exhausted. But a little while later, as I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth, I looked into the main room, and my reflection in the big mirror hadn't moved at all. It was just standing there, staring back at me. Its eyes seemed slightly wider, and its smile was twitching, like it was struggling to copy my expression. I quickly turned away, my heart starting to pound. "It's just your imagination," I muttered to myself. But I couldn't shake the chilling feeling that someone was standing right behind me, watching me from inside that glass. Later that night, at exactly 3:12 a.m., a sound jolted me awake. It was a faint scratching, like fingernails dragging slowly across glass. It grew louder, sharper, more insistent. My hand trembled as I reached over and flicked on the bedside lamp, and what I saw made my blood run cold. My reflection wasn't lying down in bed like I was. It was standing up, pressed against the inside of the mirror, with a grotesque, wide smile plastered on its face. One hand was flat against the glass. I was frozen, paralyzed by sheer terror. Then, its hand began to move, tracing letters in the condensation that had suddenly formed on the mirror's surface. "Leet me," my breath hitched in my throat. I scrambled backward, tripping over my duffel bag, and the lamp flickered and died, plunging the room into darkness. When the light sputtered back on a second later, the reflection was gone. But so was I. The mirror no longer showed me. Instead, it was showing the room behind me, but from a slightly different angle, as if the camera had been turned around. I waved my hand in front of the mirror, but nothing happened. It was like looking through a window into another world, a darker, twisted version of my room, lit by a sickening, dim red glow. And then I saw it. I saw me asterisk, standing inside that other room, staring out at me, mouthing those same two words. "Let me out." That was it. I bolted for the door, fumbling with the handle, but it wouldn't turn. It was locked tight. Then I heard footsteps in the hallway, slow, heavy, deliberate. They stopped right outside my door. A knock, 3 quiet, distinct taps. I held my breath, not daring to make a sound. The peephole was just a black void, but when I turned back to the room, the scene in the mirror had changed again. Now it showed a long, dark hallway, filled with countless doors, all of them slightly ajar. I could see things moving in the shadows between them, fleeting and indistinct. I grabbed my phone, thinking I had to record this, to get proof, but the screen just glitched, flashing my own terrified face for a second before dissolving into static. And in that brief reflection on the dead screen, I saw the door to my room swinging open behind me. I spun around, but the door was still closed, still locked, yet in the mirror world, it was wide open. A figure was stepping through. It was impossibly tall and thin, its head tilted at an unnatural angle. Its skin was pale and stretched tight over its bones, and its smile was wider than any human's should be. It reached a long, skeletal hand toward the glass, and the mirror's surface began to crack, thin veins of shattered glass spreading out from the center. In a panic, I grabbed the bedsheet and threw it over the mirror, but the tapping continued from underneath it, faster now, more desperate. I tried the room phone to call the front desk, dead. No signal on my cell. I rushed to the window, but it was sealed shut, painted over from the outside. With my last ounce of courage, I turned back to the mirror. The sheet had fallen to the floor. The glass was perfectly smooth again, no cracks. It just showed my own reflection, my face pale with fear. For a second, I thought it was over. Then I blinked. My reflection didn't. It just kept staring, its head slowly tilting to the side, its eyes glinting with a look I can only describe as hunger. I grabbed a towel, covered the mirror again, and huddled in the far corner of the room, waiting for the sun. The moment dawn broke, I grabbed my things and ran. I slammed the key down on the front desk and told the clerk what happened. He just listened with a weary, unchanging expression. He let out a long sigh and said, "You saw her then, didn't you?" I froze. "Who?" I managed to ask. "The girl in the glass," he said, his voice flat. "Room 19 has been closed for years. Ever since she disappeared. You must have been given the wrong key." I looked down at the keychain in my hand. It said 19, plain as day. But when I looked up, the motel door had locked behind me, and the neon sign outside was flickering between vacancy and closed. On the long, lonely drive home, I couldn't stop glancing at my rearview mirror. Something was wrong with my reflection. It blinked just a little too slowly. It would smile when I wasn't. And for one terrifying second, when I looked away and then back, it was leaning forward, as if trying to climb right out of the glass. I couldn't take it. I smashed the mirror, pulling over to the side of the road, gasping for air. But even in the tiny, shattered shards on the passenger seat, I could still see her eyes staring back at me. I threw the pieces out the window and drove the rest of the way home without looking in any mirror. But that night, as I stood in my own bathroom, I saw a long, fresh crack running across the mirror, a crack that wasn't there that morning. And as I wiped the steam from the glass after my shower, I saw a message slowly appearing in the fog. 2 words: welcome back. Thanks for sticking with me through that. I don't know what's next, but I feel like I'm being watched. If you have any stories like this, share them in the comments below. And if you want to hear more, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Stay safe out there.